If you've ever worked your heart out only to feel ignored, if you've ever stayed late at the office, skipped family dinners, canceled vacations and gave your all, only to be met with silence, no thank you, no recognition, just more work piling up on your desk, like your effort was expected, not appreciated. If you've ever watched someone else get promoted while you're left behind, someone who took shortcuts, played politics, or barely even understood the job, yet somehow they moved up while you stood still, and you sat there wondering, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't anyone see my value? If you've ever sacrificed everything for a company that treated you like you were disposable, you gave them years of your life, your energy, your loyalty, your passion. You missed birthdays, milestones, and moments you'll never get back. And when times got tough, they didn't hesitate. They cut you loose like you were just a number, like none of it ever mattered. Then this story is for you, because you're not alone. Because your pain, your frustration, your story, they deserve to be heard. This isn't just about quitting a job. It's about reclaiming your worth, your dignity, and your life. 1. The climb. No one saw I started at the very bottom. No family in the industry, no insider tips, no fast track to success. Just me, an entry-level employee with nothing but determination and a dream. No fancy degree to open doors, no favors called in, no hand-holding. Every step I took, I had to earn it. Every win was the result of late nights, early mornings, and sacrifices no one saw. But I hustled. I stayed late when everyone else went home. I volunteered for tasks no one wanted. The dirty work, the extra shifts, the thankless jobs. I soaked up knowledge like a sponge, eager to grow faster than my role allowed. While others were on smoke breaks, long lunches, or scrolling through their phones, I was deep in the trenches, fixing what was broken, handling what others ignored. I didn't just do my job, I went beyond it. I became the go-to, the problem solver, the quiet engine that kept things moving. Managers began to rely on me. Co-workers started asking for my input. I earned respect, not by talking, but by doing. But leadership, the people who made the real decisions, they barely looked in my direction. To them, I was invisible. Reliable, yes, but replaceable. Still, I believed. I thought that hard work always spoke loudest. I convinced myself that if I just kept grinding, just kept proving myself, one day someone up there would finally take notice, that all the sacrifices would eventually lead to something greater. Spoiler, I was wrong. 2. The first warning signs. Things started to shift. I trained new employees, only to watch them get promoted over me. My ideas were praised in meetings, but credited to someone else. I took on projects with impossible deadlines and made them work. No recognition, no bonuses, no raises. I started asking myself, what am I doing wrong? But the truth, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was just too reliable, and they were taking advantage of it. 3. The day it all crashed. It was a Monday morning when it happened. My manager pulled me into a meeting with HR. He looked at me and said, "We've been reviewing team structure. We feel your skills would be better utilized in a more focused role." Focused role? That's corporate for less responsibility, lower title, smaller paycheck. They didn't call it a demotion, but it was. Everyone knew it. Even the look in HR's eyes said, "We're sorry, but our hands are tied." I walked out in shock. Years of work reduced to one vague meeting and a title change. 4. The emotional aftermath. I'd love to say I took it like a warrior, but the truth, I went home and broke down. I questioned everything. My worth, my skills, my entire career. I stopped going out. I ignored calls. I felt ashamed, like I had failed, even though I had done everything right. The hardest part? Watching my coworkers look at me differently, as if my value had dropped just because my title had. 5. The turning point. Finding my worth again. But in that dark space, something clicked. I realized, they don't define me. My job title doesn't define me. My value isn't tied to the opinion of people who benefit from me staying small. So I made a decision. I updated my resume. I wrote down every single win I had contributed. I took online courses, built a portfolio, and quietly applied to other companies. Not out of desperation, but out of self-respect. 6. The comeback. Within 3 months, I landed interviews with companies I once thought were out of reach. And then, I got the call. A role, higher than what I had, more pay, more creative freedom, more respect. I remember walking into that new office and thinking, why did I ever let them convince me I wasn't worth this? Even better, the company that demoted me reached out after they heard about my new job. They said, maybe we misjudged your fit. Would you consider rejoining us? I politely replied, no, but I wish you the best. 7. What this taught me and what you need to know. Here's the truth no one tells you. Loyalty is beautiful, but blind loyalty, dangerous. If they can replace you overnight, you should be ready to move on in seconds. Never tie your identity to a job title. You are allowed to outgrow people, roles, and companies. Demotion doesn't mean defeat. Sometimes it's the shove you need to level up. Let them underestimate you. Let them think you're done. Then rise, quietly, confidently, and without them. They demoted me because they thought I'd take it quietly. But they forgot one thing. I didn't get where I am by accident. I built myself, one challenge at a time. So if you've been knocked down, pushed aside, or made to feel small, remember, a step back doesn't mean the story's over. Sometimes it's just the start of your next chapter. Like this video if you've ever been underestimated. Share your story in the comments. Let's build a community that lifts each other up. Subscribe if you believe that no setback is ever final. Because the real ones don't stay down for long,